Everyone, and welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat, this will be my Knackers Yard. I'm slowly cracking on with stuff. I did get some painting done yesterday, and I'll show you that in a second. I didn't film it because I lost my camera. I couldn't find it bloody in it, or this camera, this one. So I buggered if I could find it. My garage is a bit of a tip at the moment. I did manage to find it in the end. Kermit, I say he's good to go. It's running lumpy, and it's probably because it's fucking freezing and it's been sub-zero and really cold, and it's just struggling to warm up. So I do think I need to take the carbs off and give it a clean. I'll have a think later, that might be tomorrow's job, but I'll just catch up on the paint in a second. So on the paint and on my minging kitchen floor, the joys of having children and a dog in the winter, it just gets minging because we enter and leave the house by the back door. So primer's on. I used my my compressor and my paint gun. Went on really well, really thick. I was amazed how thick actually now. The only other time I've primered with it, I got the mix wrong and I had too much thinner. I'd got the ratios wrong between thinner and hardener. And it just goes on so thick, and it's really good. Now the issue that I have had is well, I was spraying yesterday and it was 2 degrees, which is about as far off the ideal as you can get, but so it has orange peeled. I don't normally sand primer unless I've got any runs, but I am on this one just because it's a bit wavy. It's really hard to see on a camera. But it is a bit wavy, and particularly on a solid block of no, you can't really see. I have had a quick go at that already. Hello dog. But repairs have disappeared, which I'm really there we go, you can see a bit of orange peel on there actually. Yeah, a bit of water that I dropped on earlier. Repairs though, there you go, you can see the orange peel there. Repairs have covered really quite nicely, so I'm just going to sand those down. Where's the other repair? I've had a quick sand of this already and it's getting there. There was a big crack, in fact you can see on the other side, there you go, there's a big crack across there that has effectively disappeared, which I'm really happy about. In addition, I have got a rear cowl for it. It does just clip on. It was not in the best of state. It's a homemade jobby, and it's all right. It's not particularly secure. I am going to have to pad the back out of that so it holds on properly, but I'm going to go black on that as well. So I'm going to give those a rub down and see how they go. An atmospheric shot there. The weather's been fucking horrendous. That last footage was yesterday. I have rubbed them down. They are hung and slung in various parts around the garage, trying to keep them out of the way. I've had to have a little bit of a rejig in here because it's not the last video on Kermit. Hopefully this one is. So as a recap, I tried to lean it down with the air fuel screws. Yeah, it's better, but it's still running really rich. And I was sat there in front of the TV last night and thought, well, hang on, I video all of this. So I went back and had a look and sort of started checking my work, and I realised that I'd cocked up. And this is where there's a difference between this site and others. Now, despite the fact visually I've gone a bit Del Boy, I've got what remained of the beard, albeit going back to work next week, or physically into work next week. So it's going to have to go because I've got to be clean shaven and a little bit better presented. And my hat's on because it's pissing down and I'll be moving bikes around. And if you wear glasses, it makes sense to cover them up. Right, enough of that. Let's get back to this thing. So, so hoiking back in history, went back through my videos on Kermit. and went back to my rejetting of it. Now, when I first had an Explorer and started pulling stuff off, the air jets were missing, although they were handed to me separately. The seller said, "Oh, I've cleaned the jets." He hadn't. He just removed the air jets. He hadn't removed the actual fuel jets from it. And when I dug down on them, they were 140s, which struck me as weird. I did a bit of googlage and found what they should be according to Google, which is 157.5s. I thought, Christ, that's low. Why on earth have they done that? And it wasn't until Dan Barnes, one of the subscribers, sent me the manual, the Haynes manual for it, that I see where it got it from. And that is the A models, 1575 on the main jets. Now, this is a G model. Further up, 1375, 140. Now, I don't know this, but I'm reliably informed that way back in the day, it used to have different size jets on the outside and the inside too, and that kind of tracks through here and around J. You've still got them, and then when you start getting to the more modern bikes, they go to just straight. So, it was correctly jetted for spec. Now, it doesn't have a spec exhaust, so I thought I'll go up a little bit, but I was aiming at, I was ordering around this mark, and I ended up throwing in what I had, which was a 157.5 on the outside pair. Yeah, the smaller ones, 1575 on the outside pair, and a 160 on the inside pair, which is effectively jetting it as an A model, which it isn't. So what? I need to downjet it. I'm going to go higher than the 140s that were originally in it, because it has got a aftermarket big bad boy stubby exhaust. So I am going to go higher. I think I've got 155s, and I'm going to chuck those in. I think they'll be a lot more appropriate. While I'm there, it does need a carb clean, because I haven't cleaned the carbs since it was gravity fed and overflowing with fuel, so it's probably going to need a clean out. While I'm there, I may balance it, I don't know, but I'll see what happens. So enough talking bollocks. I'm going to get this tank off yet again, get the carb off yet again, and see what we got. Right, so there we go. Carb stripped down, bits and pieces over there. It's a bit mucky, but nothing that a surface clean won't do. So yeah, and this is the beauty of filming, and frankly why I started doing it in the first place, is so I could look back and think, oh, that didn't work. I'm happy to admit that I know next to nothing and enough to be dangerous, so I'm going to need to go back and check my work periodically. So I've got the 157.5s on the either end and 160s in the middle, and I'll whip those out, grab my little carb box of pieces. In fact, it's over here. Not the greatest cinematography in the world, but I do tend to find myself working on my knees. There we go. So in an attempt at organising myself a little bit, that's all my small bits and pieces, but essentially got a pill box there, so you can see where are we, 155s. So I'm going to bang those in. It's still a bit high, it's still a bit rich, but it's what I've got, and it's got to be a damn sight better than 160s and 157.5s. Right, let's get those done. Right, so much cocking around later. That's the carb on. I'm a bit cramped because it's pissing down and I'm in the garage, but I've just rigged up a secondary tank. Just before I start applying everything back together, I just thought I'd give it a go. I did turn it on, the fuel pump primed. That's obviously with no air restriction at all on there at the moment. Might need a bit more fuel. It's trying to pump air at the moment. There you go, pal, have a drink. Give it a go. struggling a bit with the choke. Yeah, well, it works. Doesn't smell as bad either. Right, that's no choke. That's no joke. Right, happy. I've now got to consider whether or not I try and balance it. It'd be daft not to, wouldn't it? Right, let's get my balancing kit out. Right, so I decided not to bother filming the car balancing for two reasons. One, my battery was about to die on this anyway, and for two, I'm running out of playtime because I'm about to have Christmas dinner. Again, it's a long story, but we had a reserve frozen turkey just in case it all went tits up, because we were at Christmas with the in-laws, just in case we couldn't go. We had a frozen turkey, so yeah, nice. Another love turkey. Right, all good, all brill, all back together. I've got quite good at putting this back together. It's got the most assured idle that it's had ever by a long way. So even a few days ago, or before today, it would start fine, it would ride fine. When it got hot, when it got warm, it would bog out, and certainly if I just left it ticking over, it would kill itself. It would just keel over. It was running very rich. I've gone back down to 155s, which is still a bit high, frankly. 140 stock. It's only got a stubby exhaust, there's no special air filter or anything like that, so it's probably still a little rich. But I do need to move it, so I'm just going to hoik it up and down the road. Where's my helmet? I'm not going to bother with my head cam, helmet cam. So much better. That's undescribably better. That really is an awesome machine. Right, so that's all the boys put away, all the toys put away, I suppose, more pertinently. What was I going to say? Yeah, Kermit's on the market. I've not had a lot of response yet. I've had lots of people telling me it's a great bike, but no one going to buy it at the moment. I'm not surprised, nor do I want to start whacking down the price, because frankly it's the worst time of the year to try and sell a bike. They are fundamentally still a luxury item, although a few people have them as daily transport, but they're still a luxury item. It's not the weather to ride them in, for one, and for two, it's just after Christmas. No one's got any cash left, which is fine. I'm not in a rush. But I wanted to get it right. I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not good enough to be a perfectionist, frankly. But if I know there's something not quite right and I think I can do something about it, I have to do it. And in this case, it was running rich and it just wasn't playing nice. And it would annoy me if I sold it that way, with a known issue. Now that's now sorted. It runs beautifully just up and down the hill then. Lovely. I wish I had a bit more time to hoik it around a bit further, but I just don't at the moment. Brill, happy. Next job, I do need to do get the black on the Thundercat fairings, hoik up the back there, but it's just, you know, it's a space, time and frankly conditions issue at the moment. Yeah, spraying in these temperatures is just not a great idea, and it just makes it harder because you end up with more orange peel. I might have to see if I can sort out my heater and just get it warmer in here. I think the next one though is going to be installing this on the Thundercat. Now the Thundercat's hidden around the back of the house at the moment, just because I don't have space in here, so it's stashed out back. And that'll be the next job. Right, that'll do me for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for joining me on my little adventures. Cheers all. Catch you later.